our spirit animal, John Borman, is on I'm a Celebrity. Get out of here. Go vote for him. Good evening, cult members, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
It's a British reality,
right. It's like the island
Survivor,
Survivor. There
kind
you go.
of thing.
Yeah.
He's been Scott has been posting a bunch about getting people to get on there and vote. So he's our spirit animal. So we thought we'd say it, but I have no information on actually how to vote because it's all UK based, right? So like it's like text a number, but it's some number that we don't recognize. It's like 96843-0411. I was like, what?
Well, you got to have the country code and.
Right.
All right. Vote, but we don't know how you do it.
Yeah, just go to John Borman's social media, whatever, and it's all over that and how to text and stuff like that.
All right.
Texting rates do apply. Hi, everybody. This is episode 86. We have not a ton of news that we're going to do this week, but we are going to talk about the December movie avalanche, as I have coined it.
Right.
And we're going to talk about all the movies that happened in December with a couple of stop messing with everything.
Sorry, it's really loud.
It is. Yeah. We need Santa Claus. We need a real soundboard and like a real like Santa. If you're listening, we should start a Amazon page and put all the stuff on there so people can go.
Oh yeah.
And click on it.
You can just go to our Amazon page
and buy us stuff. I might even take my shirt off so you could do it. As motivation? No? Isn't that how that works?
Okay, sure.
I'm confused.
You are.
Most of the time. This is going to be an interesting show. I've been having a hard time just walking down the hall, so it's going to be one of those shows. We here at the Pop Culture Cult ask two things from our membership. And that is, one, we ask that you subscribe to the channel. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please do. It helps us out. The more subscribers we have, the bigger the audience, the bigger outreach we can get, and the more people we can talk to about all the fun things that we are all interested in.
Right.
The other thing that we ask is that you share with your friends. You had Thanksgiving and you're stuffed full and you don't want to make dinner, so you're at a pizza place and the people next to you are talking about BVS or they're talking about Aquaman or whatever else, and you say, you know what, there's these two people on the internet who are talking about this stuff too. You should really watch it. So here's the link to Pop Culture Cult on YouTube. You should really watch them. You should subscribe to them too.
It is the season of sharing.
It is the season of sharing.
Share us with the world.
That was so much
Sharing
better
is
than
caring.
my pizza place thing. It's so bad. Anyways, so let's get into the show. One thing that we do want to talk about really quick is we've talked about the Stan Lee passing a couple times. We're not going to talk about Bill Maher. I'm done with that asshole. But what is going on the internet right now is there is a campaign that I happen to come across, and I jumped on, and we're going to share this as much as we can over the next few weeks. December 28th would have been Stan Lee's 96th birthday. And so there's an online campaign going to get people to wear their Marvel shirts and or sweaters on the 28th to honor Stan Lee. Now, we do understand that not everybody lives in a place where you can just wear T-shirts during the day during this time of the year.
What is the 28th? Is that, let's see, 25th, 26th, 27th? It's a Friday. Casual Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Oh.
It's Friday before the holiday.
For the
New Year's holiday.
So, weekend. Yeah.
Casual Friday, where your bonus points, if it's an ugly Christmas sweater, Stanley comic book,
Marvel thingy.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. That would be bonus points on all kinds of different levels.
Right.
We do also understand that, like, the East Coast will probably be under like 8 feet of snow because of its east of the Mississippi this time of the year. It's under snow, so
Well, they can make a
wear appropriately layers and then take pictures of you wearing your
take a picture in your house.
in your house, not outside. We're not telling you to do that.
Right.
Just wear your Marvel stuff, take a picture, and share it online. Stan Lee, hashtag Stan Lee Marvel, and throw pop culture cult in there. And let's see if we can. And since we're trying to help push this along, I want to see
hashtags.
hashtag everything.
Hashtag everything.
Hashtag everything.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. Malkovich. Anyway, so the 5-day weekend for the holiday box office. We've talked about the box office a lot in the last few weeks because there's not a ton of news, and as much as I don't like talking about it, sometimes interesting stuff does happen that we want to talk about. Real quick, we're going to talk about how Ralph Breaks the Internet over a 5-day weekend made $84.5 million. That is the second highest opening of any movie on a Thanksgiving weekend. Number 1 is Frozen.
Huh. All right.
That's what I said. I'm not a sequel. Frozen was not a sequel.
Right.
The highest box office weekend for a live action movie ever was Creed 2. And it made 55.8. The first one made 29.6 on its opening weekend. Was not a holiday weekend, but it was in November. So that's a really good, that's almost $140 million worth of movies and two movies in the States.
Yeah, and you can't really say it's because there's not anything out because Fantastic Beasts and The Grinch and Bohemian Rhapsody and Star is Born, and there's still a lot of stuff in the theaters. I wonder if it has to do with, like the A-list and
maybe
Movie Pass
maybe.
and all that, helping people get out and go to the movies.
That's a very interesting thought. I haven't thought of it that much that way. Because Fantastic Beast had a 42.9 million weekend as well. So now it dropped 50% from the previous weekend, but it's still a really good second weekend. And The Grinch made 42 million. So you're talking about, good almost $200 million in your first 4 movies.
And that's domestic, right?
That is just domestic. That is not international. The Fantastic Beasts in 2 weeks has made $439 million. I now have a quest for all the people who are watching this show. Go on to every website that you have found, or Twitter account, or Facebook account, when they said, what is wrong with the Fantastic Beasts Harry Potter universe, and ask them, what the hell are they talking about?
Right.
2 weekends has made $400 million.
Right.
Now, it's worldwide.
Yeah.
But...
And... What, 200 million of that the first weekend was international?
Most of it was international, yeah. The first weekend was 68 here in the States.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand that conversation. Grinch has made $216 million in 3 weeks. Bohemian Rhapsody's made $472 million in 4 weeks. And then there's Robin Hood. The Taron Egerton,
right.
Simple names.
Jamie
Foxx. I really want to see it, but it was one of the, we just decided not to do a movie this weekend. It only opened for 14 million in the States, 23 million worldwide, but it only opened in the States, Australia, Italy, and New Zealand.
Okay. Weird
kind of combination of places to open. And it hasn't opened in the UK yet, and so it had $100 million budget, so
not including advertising,
including advertising,
marketing.
which about another $100 million probably. So
probably,
yeah, it's gonna struggle. I want to see it. Everybody says it's a dumpster fire. I don't care. I like the concept of telling that story in a different way, much like they did Arthur.
Right. And we liked that.
We really liked Arthur. The other thing about the box office that happened this weekend is Venom officially passed Wonder Woman in overall box office for its entire run. Now it's at 822 million. worldwide for Venom. And Wonder Woman is only made only made 821 million.
Right.
So we'll probably get another 30 or 40 million for Venom. I have no idea why.
I don't either. Maybe we need to watch it again. I don't know. We'll get it on Redbox or something and watch it again. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of the two movies, I think Wonder Woman is a better overall movie.
Yeah, I thought.
But the third act in Venom is way better than the third act in Wonder Woman. And that's
yes.
I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if just people are like, screw you, we're going to go because we want to go. And it's crazy that it's made that much money worldwide. And I don't get it. So
I think that Wonder Woman, it's an easier conversation to have about Wonder Woman not making as much as Venom, because Wonder Woman had the DC universe stigma
Yeah.
of, so that's an easier explanation, but I don't know.
People really love Tom Hardy.
I love Tom Hardy, but not as Venom.
So, yeah, that was just an interesting overall weekend over the 5 days for the box office. This weekend, because of the long weekend, we did a bunch of different things. We saw Black Klansman finally. It's pretty freaking awesome. We did a review. I will add it to the end of this episode. Just spoilers, we really liked it, and I don't want to get into it too much because there's other things I want to talk about. We did a Doctor Who review of the latest episode called The Witchfinders. A very fun episode. That one had Alan Cummings in it, so that's always a win.
Yep.
And then we also did TV Time, where we talked about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Christmas schedule and stuff. And I'll add TV Time to the end of this episode as well. So if you want to watch that, all of that will be linked at the end. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to what we are calling the December movie avalanche. Now, I called it Apocalypse earlier and then realized that Apocalypse is way too finalistic.
Yes, fatalistic.
Fatalistic,
yes.
That's the word.
Yes.
So we're going to call it the avalanche because we're going to drown under the barrage of movies that are coming.
Yes, it is a tsunami of movies.
What are the natural disasters? It is a tornado with cows.
Sharknado.
It's a movie NATO of movies. Blizzard.
We already got snow with
That's
the
got
avalanche.
snow. All right.
It's an earthquake of.
We are getting flooded by big corporations trying to tell us to watch movies.
Right.
Did you get the idea? Do you understand what we're trying to say here?
There's a lot of movies.
There's a lot of movies coming. Now, this weekend technically is the end of November. So the 30th is Friday, so the 1st is Saturday. There's really nothing worth talking about.
Couldn't have moved some of those to that weekend.
Right. And we had the big weekend opening last weekend with Wreck-It Ralph and Creed 2 and all that stuff. And Green Book opened this weekend too.
Yep.
Which the plan is to go see that Wednesday, I believe, for us.
Okay.
Or Robin Hood, one of the two.
One of the two. And then we'll have to go see the other one.
Maybe
Thursday
Friday
or
or
Friday.
something like that. So we'll work on that. So December 7th, we will start. I will talk about what I want to talk, how I want to do this, because we didn't talk amongst yourself. I'm going to list the three movies or the movies that are coming out that week, and then we can go back and talk about which one you want to talk about, or all of them, or if you want. Okay, so December 7th, of the movies I wrote down, there are 8 total movies. Mary Queen of Scots is coming out. Vox Lux is coming out, and they're re-releasing Schindler's List because nothing says Christmas like Schindler's List.
Right.
So, of those 3, I'm pretty sure you're going to pick Mary Queen of Scots.
Yes. What is Vox Lux? I feel like I knew.
It's the Natalie Portman pop star
Oh.
being difficult.
Yeah.
So she's just playing herself with a bunch of Lady Gaga
Right.
makeup on.
Right. So I've seen Schindler's List, and I don't really need to see that it was hard enough to watch on the TV. I don't need to see it on
In
the
a
big
theater,
screen.
right.
So yeah, Mary Queen of Scots.
Yeah. Now, we've seen a couple different trailers for this one. Gemma Khan is playing...
Chan.
Khan. Yeah, okay. Is playing Mary, and Margot Robbie is playing Elizabeth, and David Tennant is in it, so you know you're going to get our attention when David Tennant's in it. But it's the real story, well, the Hollywood version of the story between Mary and Elizabeth, and who actually is in control of the English throne and all that stuff, which I find timely since we were just there. We got to see both of them in Westminster Abbey. Their sarcophaguses. Yeah, I get that right. And King James was on the episode of Doctor Who this last week, so all of it's very...
Right. And even though Elizabeth had Mary beheaded because she felt she was usurping her power, she still had her buried. They're not buried. They're in tombs in the same room with her.
Yeah.
At her feet.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But so the previews that we've seen, I honestly, it was about halfway through the preview before I realized that was Margot Robbie.
Right.
I was like, whoa, yeah.
And it looks like it's very much from the Mary point of view and not the Elizabeth point of view.
Right. Well, we've gotten the Elizabeth point of view a couple of times.
Yeah, we have. So
Elizabeth,
it's cool to have that different end of the story.
Yep. So I wouldn't say excited, but I would like to see this one.
There's some early talk that this will be in the Oscar conversation.
Okay.
Probably for costuming, because Elizabethan era always gets nominated for that.
Yep.
December 14th, we get Into the Spider-Verse, Once Upon a Deadpool, The Mule, Mortal Engines, If Beale Street Could Talk. And there's like 5 others. So
yes.
Okay, so for me, I'm trying to buy tickets for Into the Spider-Verse already. Like, we need to look and see if they're available. We got to talk about taking Alex, our grandson.
We're gonna take the grandboy to see Into the Spider-Verse. Once Upon a Deadpool, I don't care. I mean, cool, they're raising money for cancer or whatever.
Right.
But I don't care. The Mule, we'll probably see it because I think that it's going to be in the Oscar talk because it's Clint Eastwood.
Right. The one thing that I have seen about it was from For Your Consideration from Collider. And they talked about how it from their point of view, it's good. It's not good enough to be in the Best Picture conversation. It's a really good movie, but maybe not in the top 10 of movies, especially if they're going to try to push Black Panther and Get Out. Quiet Place.
Place. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, he might get director.
Yeah.
It's Clint Eastwood.
It would be cool if he got a Best Actor nomination, and Bradley Cooper's in it. So
yeah, that'd be 2 potentially for him.
Bradley Cooper's gonna get nominated for 2 different categories for the same movie, and then possibly could get Best Supporting Actor.
Right.
So
at least he's got them all covered, right? Director, actor, and supporting actor.
I'm sure he did like a screenplay in there, and
maybe music
and song and dance. Maybe he made the costumes for The Favorite or something like that. Mortal Engines. Now, we've talked about Mortal Engines a couple of times. The latest trailer really got my attention.
The latest trailer looked better than we've been seeing. I'm waiting for this one to just be like what was that Disney one with Oprah at the beginning of the year?
Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah. I'm afraid that this is going to be that.
The book is supposed to be really good.
Right, but I'm afraid it's all
just show. And
yeah. And
the problem with Wrinkle in Time was the base story wasn't a great
It was
in-depth
difficult.
story,
Yeah,
right?
difficult to tell.
Everybody who said that the Mortal Engines books themselves are the books themselves are really good.
Right.
It's the visual part that everybody was really worried about. In the first trailer we saw, I even said in the trailer reaction, I'm like, this is not done. Like, they just pushed it out to put it out there. But the last couple we've seen the last one specifically has been really good. And then there's been some TV spots that we've seen over the last couple days that has really gotten my attention. Hugo Weaving in the best hair club for men beard thing ever. And I'm Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Doing this makes me.
So Peter Jackson is not the director.
He is not the director. It's Wingnut Productions.
It's his production company.
So
Okay.
he's the head producer on it and stuff. And then the last one that's coming out that week is If Beale Street Could Talk. Now this one is in the Oscar buzz.
I was going to say I think this is another Oscar.
It's in the Oscar buzz. For the purposes of the show, I think we have to see it. I don't want to see it. Does that make sense?
I don't not want to see it. I'm just
I struggle with movies with this particular subject base because I go to movies to be entertained and have fun and escapism, and when I'm forced to deal with,
you have seen a lot of movies that aren't necessarily fun this year, and you liked a lot of them.
I liked them a lot, and you're 100% correct. I know it's hypocritical, but one of the reasons I kind of struggled for a long time about pushing to see Black Klansman, one, it was nowhere close to our house, but two was I was concerned about the subject matter, and then I heard enough people say, "No, you're gonna laugh. There is the subject matter that they are addressing here, but you're going to laugh and have fun with it." And it's like, okay, that was cool. This one, though, is a black woman trying to raise her kid in Harlem while her husband's in jail for not doing anything wrong in the 60s. It's like, I'm uncomfortable just talking about it, which means it's probably going to be amazing. And
you're such a middle-aged white man.
I try really hard not to be. I try.
You know the audience is going to be amazing.
And that's true. Widows was awesome. And
Black Panther
was awesome. What was the one we just went and saw?
Creed.
All three of those. I love interactive crowds.
Yeah.
We went the second time we saw Deadpool 2 was in one of those limited sensory, lights are up, it's not as loud. They tell you that don't worry about it, get up, move around. Oh, we can I need a couple drinks in me. Let me start talking to the TV screen. The big weekend in December coming up is the 21st. Now, Into the Spider-Verse moved up a week to get away from this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to win the weekend on the 14th that's coming out, which was a really good, smart move on their part. Also, with what's coming out, I'll get into that. Okay, so sorry. I want to talk about that part. I need to tell you what's going on first. 21st of December, we get Aquaman, Bumblebee, Mary Poppins, y'all. Second Act. That's the Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Marwen. And a documentary that probably not a ton of people are going to talk about, but we're going to, is They Shall Not Grow Old, which is a World War I documentary. Which, that one's directed by Peter Jackson.
Okay.
So I want to talk about Aquaman.
Directed by. I don't know how much directing he did.
We'll get into that one in a minute. Aquaman, we were just talking to our son. He got a ticket. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you get a ticket. You get a...
No, it's not free.
But you get...
you can order tickets through Amazon Prime for a preview night. He got the 15th.
Yeah.
I don't know
I think it was
if
the
it's only the 15th or if it's leading up to the 21st, 20th, I think.
Was the other date maybe or something?
I think we could have watched it on.
We could do it on the 20th on the preview night, but we're not
On
going
A+.
to because the 21st, right, on the A list.
A list.
Because the 21st we leave for Las Vegas, and so
And my company Christmas party is
oh, that's
the
right,
20th.
the company Christmas parties that day. But there's the slow trickle of information about Aquaman is starting to come out. I think they lifted the social media embargo today.
Wow, that's early.
Not the review embargo. They can just say, "Hey, I've seen it. It's really cool." That embargo,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And everything that I've read so far it's very positive. Like we understand this is a dumb adventure fun movie, and everybody's like, it's amazing fun adventure movie, that kind of thing. So Aquaman is another one that is trying to get away from the 21st with the Amazon thing to tie it in there and trying to do a couple of screenings ahead of time.
Right. Yeah.
Just like how Into the Spider-Verse did.
Dolph Lundgren is in.
Yes. Yes.
no
Apparently
idea.
he's in the trailer again, and I have to go back and rewatch it. It wasn't something that I just happened to point out.
I had
And then they
no
were talking
idea.
about it on Collider Heroes today that bearded Dolph Lundgren was in the trailer, and I'm like, what?
Look at Dolph Lundgren having a resurgence.
I think we talked about it in the Creed 2 review. Like we need to get more of him. Bumblebee is a movie that when first announced, going back and doing a prequel just based on Bumblebee, I was like, are you high?
out.
And then Haley Steinfeld signed on, and Justin Trudeau and John Cena all signed up to do it because Travis Knight, who did Kubo and the Two Strings, was directing it. Then they had this really cool panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and they had the guy who was the voice of Optimus Prime come in and interrupt the panel and ask a question to the panel.
Right.
As Optimus, by the way, was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing some early trailers, and they kind of felt a little Michael Bay-y.
A little.
The first one was kind
yeah.
of a little Michael Bay, and they used the Cedric the Entertainer. No, that's oh my God, Ocean's 11. He was the car dealer in the first one. I'm the worst person in the world. But the last couple of trailers have been really good. Like, I'm strangely excited for this.
So the thing in the trailers that's gotten me, this is dumb, but every time I see it, I smile when they're on the beach or whatever, and Bumblebee ruffles her hair.
Trying to get the sand out. Yeah.
Because it's so well done. I'm
Yeah.
like, it just makes me smile every time.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, there you
Jesus
go. Not Chance, not
Yeah.
that rapper. Okay.
It just the idea of Bumblebee being on Earth by himself, and she looks like
ultimately he's not, right? Because other Transformers are
right.
in
The Decepticons in the trailers. The Decepticons are here. They're working with the U.S. military. I have a theory of what they could be setting up in this movie, which I really hope is what they're going to do. But him being here by himself, Haley Steinfeld looks like the girl from the show. Was it Julie from the animated show? I cannot remember her name right now. And she was always the one that rode with Bumblebee. So I like that. They're making it feel like the
Charlie. It says Charlie.
Does it say Charlie? Okay, yeah, Charlie. Okay. They're making it feel like the 80s cartoon, which I think is what they should have done with the whole series, the Michael Bay verse of movies or whatever. But I really like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And my little theory, the Allspark universe that Hasbro has that they're trying to set up, they have talked about doing a real Transformer set, a real G.I. Joe set. They're doing He-Man, that kind of stuff.
Meaning what?
Doing a real, like a G.I. Joe, where they control it, where Hasbro controls the G.I. Joe movies.
Oh, okay.
Where they control all that stuff.
Okay.
Instead of selling it off and having somebody else do it like Michael Bay or whatever they did with the G.I. Joe stuff.
Okay.
So I think John Cena from the trailers is playing Duke from G.I. Joe. And I think that's the big
And they
reveal
make
at
a
the
universe,
end.
a Hasbro universe.
They open up the Hasbro universe, and you have a G.I. Joe movie with John Cena, who's proven that he can actually act. He looks like Duke.
Yeah.
So you have him play Duke in the next G.I. Joe movie,
Yeah.
and then you do some kind of crossover thing during that movie to bring in the Transformers, and you have a big which actually happened in the cartoon.
I think they would be smart to keep these small. I think
Yes,
that
for now, yes.
that G.I. Joe and the Transformers, I mean, the first one was kind of a novelty. Everybody liked it because this was new. We had never seen this before, but there's so many characters that you just kind of get lost emotionally.
That's why I like the Bumblebee by himself kind of thing.
Yeah, and if they do a G.I. Joe and it's just about Duke and not, and maybe throw one other, the
Snake
Samurai,
Eyes or somebody
Snake
like that.
Eyes in there for his bad guy, but not every character in this movie flooding you so that you just don't care about anybody.
I like the Channing Tatum G.I. Joe. I know all the problems with it. I know the problems with it not being part of the show.
It's guilty pleasure.
It's a total guilty pleasure. Whenever it's on, I end up watching it. It's so much fun for me, and I even like the second one. But them rebooting it would make a lot of sense because there's a buttload of money there if you do it right.
Yeah,
and that would make sense. Mary Poppins is also on this weekend. When they announced this, I was like, the first one is near perfect. Why are you touching it? And then they announced some people that are going to be involved in it. Meryl Streep's in it, so she's going to get nominated for an Oscar because she rolled out of bed that day and went and did film some stuff. Dick Van Dyke is coming back. It's like, really? Then they said Manuel Miranda is going to be in it. He's playing the Dick Van Dyke role. And Emily Blunt is going to play Mary Poppins. And I'm like...
so she could potentially be against herself in the Best Actress category.
She could be. Which they could, if we get our what we want from the Oscars, which is Key and Peele being the host, they could totally play into the fact that Emily Blunt is going against Emily Blunt.
Right.
But the last trailer we saw, I was like, God damn it, I'm going to go see this, and I'm going to like it because it looks awesome. And
are you going to go with me? Take the grand girl?
Going back and forth with it.
I'm taking all the grandkids to see movies, so you can either tag
oh, no,
along
we're going
or
to.
not.
I'm going to see Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Yeah, screw that.
Right.
But this, I just don't want it. I don't think it's needed. But then you start thinking about they're remaking a bunch of stuff. It makes sense that they're updating this one.
It does, because, I mean, to say that the old one doesn't hold up is kind of not true.
It's not true, yeah.
But kids today aren't going to watch it. Like our granddaughter, if we popped the original into the DVR or the DVD, she wouldn't sit there and watch it.
Right,
but she's super excited to go see this one.
Right.
And I think they're throwing enough of you saw the cartoon, the animation stuff.
Yeah, that was what got me.
Yeah.
The first couple of trailers we saw, it was just them in the house and her doing some magic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once they did the cartoon part, I was like, oh, that looks good. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see this, but I want to see it. I want to see if it holds up, and if it doesn't, well, oh well.
Yeah. The second act, it's a rom-com with Jennifer Lopez and Milo Ventimiglia. I love Milo. I really appreciate Jennifer Lopez. This is counter-programming for everything else that's going to be on that weekend for the rom-com.
Right.
I get why they're doing it. If you push this back 2 weeks in the first or second week in January, I think it would open to a bigger number. I don't even know if they're really even worried about opening for a bigger number.
I don't know if it will, because this kind of feels like families in town, sisters and mom gonna go watch this, or you and your girlfriends are gonna go watch this. Maybe a date night, but it feels more like family's in town and we need to get out of the house.
Yeah,
Let's go watch second act.
Yeah. The Welcome to Marwin.
This one I'm excited about.
This one I'm Robert Zemeckis. And
Begin.
and Steve Carell and Begin. The concept when we first saw the posters in the movie theater and we hadn't seen the
back in
trailer
January or something.
Yeah, actually, I know that this movie's been pumped a couple times to get it in the Oscar conversation.
Okay.
So I know that actually happened. I do think this was a festival darling. I know one of the ones we've talked about has been a festival darling. The If Beale Street Could Talk. That one.
Yeah, that one definitely.
But once I saw the first trailer, and specifically the second trailer, and saw why the mannequins in the movie poster makes so much more sense now. Because I just thought it was like Team America kind of comedy spoof thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, Steve Carell doing a comedy with Robert Zemeckis. Okay, yeah. And they do puppets. Okay, that sounds like it could be fun, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see the trailer and you see the circumstances of why Steve Carell's character does what he does and the imagination he uses and everything. And the direct, I'm pulling at here's your heartstrings. I'm willing to pull on them.
Yes.
Again, this is a movie that I don't want to see. I'm probably going to go see. And I think
you're going to go see it. You're not going to have a choice. I want to go see this movie.
This is one of those like Black Klansman where it's going to be a lot more fun, but then you're also going to have all the feels.
Yep.
And that's
it's okay. It's okay.
I cried at A Star Is Born. Okay.
You did. It's
All right.
okay.
I didn't know the story as well you did. But that one, I think, has possibilities, too, of being in the conversation, especially for Steve Carell. I having him be at the Oscars for Best Actor, again, just to prove how much of a badass he is. The documentary I want to talk about just for a second, it's a World War I documentary. It's called They Shall Not Grow Old. They took the actual footage, the black and white, real footage, and they colorized it. It's not the first time they've done this, with this kind of thing with the show on History Channel for a while was World War II in color.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They took the World War II films and they colorized it and stuff like that. Except this one, they took the footage from World War I, colorized it, and 3D'd it.
Right. You can go see it in 3D.
And so we actually looked into going to see it, and there's one theater near us that actually is having it, and it's in 3D, but it's not part of our A-list
right.
thing,
So we will
have to probably wait for it for maybe till after the holidays.
When does it come out?
The 21st.
Okay.
Right. I'm not canceling that trip, but we have a lot of stuff going on right at that same time.
Yeah.
The last week in December is the 28th. We have Holmes and Watson, which looks like it could be a lot of silly fun.
You're supposed to be just going through them.
Vice, On the Basis of Sex, Stan and Ali. Okay. Watson, Holmes, Will Ferrell, Michael C. Riley, Talladega Nights,
Ralph
Step Brothers.
Fiennes is in this movie. Come on. I don't know. It could be Talladega Nights, Step Brothers. It could be what was the last one that Will Ferrell did, that home improvement whatever.
Oh yeah.
Dumb movie.
Yeah.
It is Ethan Coen. So
yeah.
It is one of the Coen brothers.
Yeah, so I'm a little interested, but not like, there's other ones that are coming out this weekend. Vice is coming out. This is going to be a must-see. It will be in the Oscar conversation. They're already talking about Christian Bale for Best Actor. Adam McKay is the one who did this. He did The Big Short, which I really liked.
Yep.
They made a very hard subject to explain, easy to understand in that movie, and what happened.
And threw in a couple of who is it that's in the bathtub?
Margot Robbie's in the bath.
Is it Margot Robbie explaining like this technical financial
dividends or I don't
thing,
know, whatever.
and she's
yeah.
in a bathtub sipping champagne while
The
she's explaining it.
idea too that they're going to expose what
Cheney.
what Dick Cheney was
Yeah.
as vice president, I find very interesting, especially since he's still alive.
Yeah.
And so I find that very interesting that they're not shying away from it at all.
Yeah. And it's interesting that Steve Carell is in a movie coming out the weekend before and in Vice, and John C. Reilly is in 2 movies coming out this same weekend.
Yes.
It's
So
interesting.
Yeah. Because everything has to come out in December.
Right.
On the basis of sex, it's the Ruth Ginsburg story of how she became a judge and then worked her way into becoming a Supreme Court justice. And it's being played by Felicia Jones.
RBG.
I've seen one trailer for this, and it was in passing, and I didn't realize what it was until much later what the trailer was. But I'm telling you, this could be a very topical because she's still on the board and she's 80s.
Yeah, she's up there.
And
Isn't she still on the Supreme Court?
Yes, she's still on the Supreme Court. She actually fell, broke her ribs, was back to work like 3 days later.
Oh yeah, she's a badass.
She is. But the telling of sexism in the system, and then her becoming a Supreme Court justice, as we're sitting right now with all the issues that came out of the Supreme Court nomination thing that came out a couple of months ago, I find it very interesting that this happened to was already in the process of being done.
Yeah.
And then all of that kind of, it was like, ooh.
Yeah. So I have seen nothing. I saw on our A list, I saw On the Basis of Sex as I was going through coming, but I had there wasn't even a poster. I had no idea what it was. So now
I've seen the trailer. I'll show it to you after the show. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Stan and Ali. It's the Laurel and Hardy biopic, but it's after were big, and then they did that British tour to try to come back and everything. It is John C. Reilly playing Laurel and Steve Coogan playing Hardy, and I had to watch it like 3 times to see. That's Laurel and Hardy. That's Laurel and Hardy. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Stop arguing with me.
Yeah, John C. Reilly really looks like Ollie.
And this was one of those, nobody knew anything about it. It wasn't being talked about. It wasn't being mentioned. It wasn't in the, oh yeah, that movie with John C. Reilly is coming out.
Yeah, no,
and then it just dropped a trailer one day.
We were seeing something else, and it was one of the trailers, and we're like, what?
Yeah, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And this will also be one of those ones that could be in the conversations for awards season. We are saying that a lot about a lot of these different movies because we're in that time period, not of the year, but not all of these are actually going to be there. They're all going to be talked about and like that kind of stuff.
It'll help us be able to see some of them too, because they'll stick around in the movie theater a little bit longer, or they'll make a comeback in late January, early February.
I know that was a lot to talk about. That was going to be most of what we were going to talk about today, anyways, because like we said, it's the December movie avalanche, and there's just so much going on, and we've been dreading the 21st for so long, and then we started looking on the A list, and we're like, oh my God, this is coming out, and oh my God, this is coming out, and oh my God, this is coming out. So we're going to be doing a lot of movie watching. We're going to be gone for Christmas. We're going to be in Las Vegas for Christmas, so we're losing like a 5-day period in there.
Yep.
And we have to do some catch up from the last weekend with Green Book and Robin Hood. So luckily there's nothing coming out this weekend that we really care about. So that's our thoughts this week on the December movie avalanche, the box office, and wear your Marvel stuff on the 28th in honor of Stan Lee. What do you guys think of the movies that are coming out this December? Is there one that you're super excited about? Leave us a comment and let us know. You've already been here this long. Please subscribe to the channel. I've already asked you once. I will continue to ask until you actually do it. And you can get a hold of us on our social media network. All the links are in the description. And until next time, good night, cult members.